PWC True Crime, the Halifax Slasher, the town that lived in fear. Imagine being afraid to leave your own home. Imagine hearing a noise outside your window and wondering if tonight would be your last night. Imagine walking through Halifax after dark and feeling your heart race every time you saw a stranger approaching. November 1938. Fear had taken over Halifax. Not war, not disease, not disaster. Fear. A rumor began spreading through the town. A mysterious attacker was stalking the streets. A man armed with a razor, a knife, a hammer. Nobody seemed to know exactly what he carried, but everyone knew his name. The Halifax Slasher. What began as a terrifying report would soon become one of Britain's strangest mysteries. On November 16th, two women reported a frightening encounter. Both claimed they had been approached by a strange man. One said she had been attacked. The other described a terrifying confrontation before the man disappeared into the darkness. The women appeared shaken, their injuries appeared real, and nobody questioned their story. Why would they? News spread quickly. Factories talked about it. Families talked about it. Neighbors warned each other. The slasher had arrived. Within days, more reports flooded in. More victims, more injuries, more terrifying stories. People claimed they had been slashed across the face. Others reported cuts on their arms. Everyone seemed to have a story, and with every new report, the fear grew. Children were kept indoors. Women refused to walk alone. Men escorted family members home after dark. Halifax had become a town under siege. But there was one problem. Nobody could agree on what the attacker looked like. Descriptions were different. Stories were different. Details kept changing. Yet nobody noticed because fear had taken control. Soon, the townspeople decided they couldn't wait for the police. Groups of men armed themselves with sticks and clubs. Night after night, they patrolled the streets searching for the slasher. Every stranger became suspicious. Every shadow became dangerous. Every innocent man risked being mistaken for a criminal. Some people were chased. Others were confronted. A few were beaten by angry crowds, convinced they had caught the attacker. The town was becoming more dangerous by the day, not because of the slasher, but because of the fear surrounding him. As panic spread across Halifax, the story reached national headlines. The local police were overwhelmed. The entire country was talking about the mysterious attacker. Then Scotland Yard arrived. Experienced detectives began examining every report, every injury, every witness statement, and almost immediately they noticed something strange. Something wasn't right. The evidence didn't add up. The stories didn't fit together. And what they were about to uncover would shock Halifax to its core. Because the biggest mystery wasn't who the Halifax Slasher was, it was whether he existed at all. For days, Halifax lived in fear. Families stayed indoors. Vigilantes patrolled the streets. Innocent men were accused. And an entire town believed a dangerous criminal was stalking its streets. But Scotland Yard was about to uncover a truth far stranger than anyone could imagine. Detectives carefully examined every report, every witness statement, every injury. The more they investigated, the more confused they became. Descriptions didn't match. Witness accounts conflicted. Evidence was weak, and some injuries appeared suspicious. Something wasn't right, and detectives knew it. Then everything changed. One victim confessed, then another, and another. Several people admitted they had never been attacked. Some had cut themselves. Others invented stories to hide personal disputes. Some simply enjoyed the attention and sympathy they received. The town was stunned. The attacks that had terrified Halifax were beginning to fall apart. One confession led to another, and suddenly the impossible became reality. Scotland Yard reached a remarkable conclusion. There was no evidence of a single attacker, no proof of a mysterious slasher, no criminal mastermind hiding in the shadows. The Halifax Slasher was a myth. A town had frightened itself. Rumors became headlines. Headlines became panic. Panic became hysteria. And before anyone realized it, thousands of people believed a monster was real. When the truth emerged, Halifax was left embarrassed and shocked. People struggled to understand how fear had spread so quickly. Others refused to believe the official findings. But one thing was certain: innocent people had suffered. Some were wrongly accused. Others were attacked by vigilantes, all because of a threat that may never have existed. Today, the Halifax Slasher remains one of Britain's most famous examples of mass hysteria, a reminder that rumors can be powerful, fear can be contagious, and sometimes the most dangerous thing isn't a criminal hiding in the darkness, it's the stories we tell ourselves. Because in 1938, Halifax wasn't hunting a monster, it was creating one. This has been PWC True Crime, stories that should never be forgotten.